2 and verse 3, and it reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry."
John Katko joins us, the Republican Solvers Caucus member from New York, Republican Congressman. Congressman, this is not getting any better. We hear a lot about the supply chain thing. We hear other people step back and say, well, it's a demand thing coming out of an economy a year ago that was in park, and anything by comparison now is going to look like 60 miles an hour. So that's what's going on here. But I don't think it's that simple. But what do you think?
No, it's not that simple. Listen, we have some, inconveniences at the stores. We have higher prices. That's really a huge economic problem for the average person in this country. But this pandemic, we're not learning our lessons from the pandemic. We have very serious supply chain issues that go much greater than just making sure we have enough Christmas presents for the holiday season. We have oil. We were net export of oil not too long ago, and here we are again with oil issues because of this administration's policies. But also, during the pandemic, we didn't even have personal protective equipment in the United States. We had to air bridge it in from a series of airlifts from other countries. We don't even make penicillin in this country anymore. In my hometown of Syracuse, we used to make 70% of the nation's penicillin. So this supply chain issue is an inconvenience to some. It's an economic calamity to others. But it's also really a homeland security and a national security issue, because if we don't start bringing some of these things back home, we're going to have a real problem. I think the best example is computer chips. 80% of the computer chips are made in Taiwan. And if China decides to go into Taiwan, we've got a huge problem. We've already got a huge chip shortage now. And we passed a bill out of the Senate that's waiting. I don't know why Pelosi's not moving it in the House. That will help us reshore domestic chip manufacturing, which is really important for us. That's just one example.
You raised an example about Taiwan, but so much of the other stuff is coming from China. Taiwan would be an issue if China took over Taiwan.
Sure.
But if you think about it, Congressman, it grows exponentially. And China, of course, the lion's share of the chips and the memory chips, the lion's share of these rare earth minerals that are in all demand right now. And I'm wondering, are there any signs that you see where China is sort of feeding this shortage by holding back, getting them to the United States and other countries?
Well, there's no question that China does control some of that, and here's the problem. We cannot trust China. They are not a positive world actor. They look out only for themselves. They could care less about us or others. In fact, they have a plan where they really want to be the dominant force in the world in the next 50 years, and they're executing that plan right now. And we've got to understand that as a country. We've got to understand that supply chain issues and things coming from China are something we can't guarantee, especially if there's a conflict, right? And think about it. China produces most of the world's penicillin. And if we have a conflict with China, we're not even going to have the basics of penicillin, right? So we've got to understand that. We've got to have partners economically, nationally, and internationally that understand that. For example, reshoring things or developing better supply chain lines with countries that we know are going to be stable for the long term.
And we got to do it fast. We're running out of time.